Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to my content page, and I am the Almighty Green Titan, bringing you another video. And the video is of major importance, which involves the coaching staff. But before I begin, I like to thank you guys very much to the ones who have subbed my channel, the ones who have commented, ones who shared it, and most important, the ones who hit the notification bell on top. So when I make these great videos, you're able to view them firsthand, far and most. Again, I thank you very much. And what I just said, please do all of that while viewing the video. All right, now let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, this video is about offensive coordinator positions because, as you guys are quite aware, the Eagles have lost quite a few coaches, and they have lost Newsmeyer, the guy who came in with Kellen Moore. He's now the offensive coordinator over at the Saints, because Kellen Moore became head coach the last past couple of weeks after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. He left and took over the head coaching job, and now he's not fitting in his staff. He has already taken two players already from the Eagles staff. He got a TJ something, I can't think of what his name is. He's the quarterback. I mean, he's the offensive line coach, and they got and they taking Newsmeyer, who from the quarterback coach to the offensive coordinator, because he's been around Kellen Moore for quite some time. And he knows the offense that Kellen Moore presented this past season when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won it all. But there is a few other candidates now the Eagles need to be looking at to address before free agency begins, because free agency is going to kick off in the next few weeks after February comes to an end. And so these are the guys that are now available for the Eagles to either bring in for interviews and see if they fit the criteria to become offensive coordinator and, most importantly, quarterback coach. So let's jump right into it. My man Jimmy Smith, go check out his podcast. His podcast is on the road to victory. He had just put in a big list of candidates, and there's quite a bit of them. I didn't think about this many coaches, the assistant coaches that are looking for promotions, and these are the ones that are now available for promotions. The Eagles already have two guys on their coaching staff currently, and then Kevin Patullo, who is the Eagles passing game coordinator, assistant head coach, and Jamal Singleton, who is the Eagles running back coach, assistant head coach. Those two guys could be promoted within the ranks with the two guys that I mentioned that's already gone. Then you got a few other guys. Some of these guys were former Eagles assistants and some were not. But I'm going to go ahead and run down this list, and you shall be able to know some of them by name. Some are familiar and some of them are not familiar. Some of these guys are more like underdog coaches, have been on some staff, on some coaching staffs for numerous of years. Here is Josh McCown. He's the Vikings quarterback coach. He was also on the Eagles staff, not staff, but on the Eagles 53-man roster a few years ago, and he's now the Vikings quarterback coach. You got Matt LaFleur, Rams offensive coordinator. Now the Eagles could bring him in to run the offense, but I think he's looking to become a head coach more than an offensive coordinator. Again, that's a title currently. Then you got Bobby Slowick, who is the Dolphins passing game coordinator. Now he's looking to become an offensive coordinator, possible head coach pending. And you got Byron Leftwich, ex-Buccaneers offensive coordinator. I think if you guys remember for Byron Leftwich, he was fired a couple years ago, and he went with the Buccaneers this past season, but the season before he was fired after that season. So right now I think he's currently unemployed. Then you got Darrell Bevel, Dolphins quarterback coach, passing game coordinator. Now that's a guy who's quickly rising up the ranks, and he probably gonna want to become an offensive coordinator, if anything. So the Eagles could bring him in, but then again, he's been around the Dolphins coach for so long. He's pretty much well adapted to that style of offense, it's more of an air offense than running the football. So the Eagles need to find themselves a coach that's gonna run the football, not pass on every single down. And we don't need that, because the Eagles have been doing really well running the football, because they got a 2,000-yard rusher, and then you got two other guys, Shipley, who gonna be with the team, and then you got the other guy who's gonna be a running back who's gonna be a free agent. So we need a guy that can run the football, not pass on every single down. So I don't see Daniel Bavell coming to the Eagles. I don't see it. Then you got Gerard Johnson, testing quarterback coach. Now he probably looking to become an offensive coordinator, if anything. I don't think he's going to take the same title with another team unless they give him more dough under the table, if you know what I mean. Then you got T. Martin. Now, T. Martin he bounced around the league for quite some time, but he was, I think at one point he was with the he had been with the Ravens all this time, but T. Martin had bounced around the NFL and the college level, but he got more college level experience than he does pro. But he was with the Tennessee Volunteers a few years ago when they brought in when the Vol brought in the coach they got now. T. Martin was relieved of his duties, and he's been in the NFL ever since. So he's been in the NFL for 3 years. I think he was with another team before becoming. I think he was at Dallas. If I'm not correct, I think T. Martin was at Dallas for a minute, and I think he got fired when they let Kellen Moore go, I believe. Kellen Moore became offensive coordinator. T. Martin was promoted as quarterback coach, and I think he was fired when he got fired, and then the Ravens brought him in as quarterback coach for the second year in a row. So he had been in the NFL for a while. Then you got this Chad O'Shea, who is the Browns passing games coordinator, wide receiver coach. Now, if the Eagles promote Kevin Patullo to offensive coordinator, then they could bring in one of these guys I'm mentioning now as quarterback coach, as passing game coordinator. But like I said, it depends. It actually depends. I mean, you got Nathan Shea Haas, that's his name. I don't want to butcher his name, but I'm going to stick with that. He's the Ram passing game specialist. Now, that's a guy who's probably looking to become an offensive coordinator, if anything. So we'll see how that goes as well. Then you got Thad Lewis, who's the Buccaneers quarterback coach. Now, to be a quarterback coach, you have to be promoted up, and going up is either assistant head coach or offensive coordinator. Then you got Frank Reich, who's the ex-Panthers head coach, who's been unemployed now for the past couple of seasons because he was fired. He was fired last year before this season came to year before this year came to an end. So he's been on the streets for the past 2 seasons now. So he's looking to get back into the NFL. He won't be a head coach of anything. He'll probably be an offensive coordinator of anything. Now I see Frank Reich coming back because the fact is the Eagles did run the football when he was here, when he was the coach with Doug Peterson. He was the coach. So I see him. I do see him coming back to the Eagles as a possibility. But the Eagles got to interview a lot of people before they bring anybody in consideration in as OC. Then you got Doug Peterson, ex-Jaguars head coach. Now, I don't know. I don't know about Doug Peterson coming back as our defensive coordinator. I don't see it because it ended real sad over here with him. It ended sad, you know what I'm saying, with Howard Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. It was a sad, terrible ending, and I don't see him coming back here as offensive coordinator. I don't see it. Then you got Marcus Brady, who is the Chargers passing game coordinator. Now he's looking to become either quarterback coach or offensive coordinator, one of the two. He's looking for a promotion, and so I don't see him coming as well. But they could interview him And you got Jim Caldwell, who's also a former Eagle assistant when he was with Doug Peterson. So Jim Caldwell, as senior assistant, I don't see him becoming a member of the Eagles offensive coordinator, offensive staff. Don't see it. But then you never know. Stranger things have happened. And then you got Anthony Lynn, Commanders run games coordinator, running back coach. Now, the Eagles could pick him and make the Washington Commanders a little bit weak on the offensive side of the coaching staff. They could bring him in as passing game coordinator, which would be a promotion for him, and he probably can still remain as running back coach. But the Eagles already do got a running back coach currently, so I don't see him coming here as an assistant staff. I don't see it happening. And you got David Garrotti, Chiefs quarterback coach. Now he's looking to become passing game coordinator or offensive coordinator. That's what he's looking to become. So a lot of these guys that I mentioned here on this list going somewhere for promotions. That's what we're gonna have, because this off season is gonna be a strange off season, and some of these guys that I mentioned to you guys are either gonna remain with their current teams or they're gonna go for promotions for other teams or with their current team. Then you got Thomas Brown, who is the Patriots passing game coordinator, tight end coach. Now that's another guy looking for promotion as probably offensive coordinator. I don't see him going down. I see him moving up or remain with the team that he's currently at now. Then you got Eric Yarber, who is the Rams wide receiver coach. Now he's looking to become passing game coordinator or an assistant coach or both titles or either or. He's not going to stay wide receiver coach unless he remains with that team and the Rams bring in someone other than that. But I don't see it happening. Then you got Cam Turner, Colts quarterback coach. Now that's another guy looking to be promotion as offensive coordinator. I don't see him going I don't see him going down. I see him either staying where he at or moving up. Then you got Pete Carmichael, Broncos senior offensive assistant. Now, he's looking to get any position on offense. Quarterback coach, assistant head coach, passing game coordinator, running game coordinator, running back coordinator. He's looking to get any position they're gonna boost him up. And any guy who has an assistant, offensive or defensive assistant, they're just looking to get any defensive title where they at or if they move on. Then you got Ronald Curry, who is the Bills quarterback coach. Now he's looking to move up to offensive coordinator. I don't see him going any further. Then you got Mike McCoy, ex-Jaguar quarterback coach. That's another former Eagle assistant. He was fired along with Doug Peterson and Jim Caldwell. So the Jaguars only got 3 former Eagles assistants as on the street currently. Then you got Luke Gaspy, Packers senior offensive assistant. Like I mentioned about Pete Carmichael, he's looking to find any type of coach on the offensive side of football, running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, or passing game coordinator. Any of those titles will fit him fine, because when they say senior assistant, I mean, you're looking to move up to any of those offensive positions. Then you got Brian Greasy, who is the 49ers quarterback coach. Now, I want to say he's looking to move up as well as our offensive coordinator, because he's quarterback's coach. He's looking to move up to offense. And you got Pep Hamilton, who is the Maryland offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Now, Pep Hamilton has bounced off and on in the NFL and the college level. So he had both experience. Right now, he's Maryland, so he's probably looking forward to get back into the NFL. But then, the thing is, he's looking to become any offensive position at the NFL. But he's most known as an excellent quarterback coach. So, it's a possibility the Eagles could replace him, Cause like I said, Doug Newmeister left, and so I see Pep Hamilton could be an excellent quarterback coach. He could bring him in. He could be the first choice at quarterback coach. He could be the first choice. So we'll see what happens there. Then you got Will Stein, who's the Oregon offensive coordinator now. Will Stein, I'm not exactly sure about Will Stein and what's the situation with him. I don't know if he has NFL experience or not. I don't think so, because the guys I'm mentioning now are at the college level. So Will Stein is looking to become any position on any offensive staff. But these guys I mentioned to you guys, these are college level coaches that could be looking to move up in the NFL. And anybody know when you get from the college level to the NFL, the money guaranteed. You get all your money. But when you at the college level, you get paid based off incentives and for as recruits and coaching. That's what it's essential. But coaches get their pay based off sponsors and a variety of things. What make their money: bowl appearances, winning records, recruitment, filling out staff, because a majority of the coaches' salary, the head coach's salary at the college level, goes to some of his players on his offensive and defensive staffs. So his money breaks up in so many ways, but he get majority of the money himself. So, and then you got Andy Kotelnicki. I think that's how his name is pronounced. He's a Penn State's offensive coordinator. Now that's a guy who looking to get into the NFL, along with Mike Denbrock. He's Notre Dame's offensive coordinator. And then you got Charlie White Jr. If you guys familiar with Charlie White's coach at the NFL and college level. He's one of Bill Belichick's promising staff who has a very good offensive mind, and he had 2 Super Bowl championship rings with the New England Patriots, I believe, at Charlie White. But the son, Charlie White Jr., have been at the college level for quite some time, but I think he does have NFL experience. I think he coached along. I think he followed back and forth to the NFL. And now Charlie White is no longer in the NFL. He hasn't coached he coached at the college or pro over the last 10, 15 years now. But his son remains at the college level, and he could be looking for some NFL cash, payday on any team, depending on what team is going to give him an interview. Then you got, last but not least, Lincoln Riley. Now Lincoln Riley is from Oklahoma. He took the place of the other coach who retired, and he won Oklahoma their first national championship. And Lincoln Riley was the assistant under that guy. But the guy who won the championship with Oklahoma has long since retired. But Lincoln Riley was kind of like coming in around the time after they won that national championship. So, but Lincoln Riley has bounced around from the college level. He's from Oklahoma to now at USC. He's USC head coach, and from what I've heard from my man Jimmy Smith, he said Lincoln Riley's not having a pretty good successful season or two at USC. So he could be looking for an easy exit out of the college level into the pros, because if you guys remember, Lincoln Riley was a hot commodity at the time when he had CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts, and I forgot that running back name. He had a few players at Oklahoma at that time when he was their head coach. And then when the USC job came open, he hurried up and jumped and left USC. He left Oklahoma and went to USC. A lot of people thought he should have stayed at Oklahoma, but he left there, and now he's at Oklahoma. He's at USC, but USC's not going pretty well, according to my man Jimmy Smith. And if that is true, then he's looking for a quick exit out of the college into the pros. And I remember him saying several years ago, He said if he coached the pros, he would coach the Dallas Cowboys. So that right there, I don't know if that is something that he's still considering. I doubt very seriously, but then you never know, cause the Cowboys are still filling out their staff. They hired Schottenheimer at their Schottenheimer or Someheimer. I forgot, I can't think that guy name, but he's been on their staff, on Dallas Cowboys staff for quite some time. And he became the head coach, and they've now filling out his staff. So Lincoln Riley, so the Cowboys could still keep looking at Lincoln Riley to become an assistant there in Dallas. You never know. But all these coaches that I'm mentioning to you guys in the minutes of this video is the coaching candidates the Eagles could be looking at to fill certain positions. We do know one is quarterback coach, and we do know one is an assistant offensive line coach. So the Eagles could promote from within, or they could bring in some people to fill these positions behind these guys, behind the head coach, and behind the head offensive line coach himself, Stoutland. So we'll see what happens there, because we are probably going to lose another head coach, another assistant coach off the staff. We don't know exactly who that guy is going to be, but we do know we're going to lose somebody in the near future. And because the Saints and the Cowboys and a few other teams are looking to pluck staff members off winning teams. All the guys that went to the playoffs in the AFC and the NFC. The guys who have had bad records with these teams are looking to rebuild their teams off winning coaching staffs. If you've been to the playoffs and lost, or you've been to the Super Bowl, lose or win, they're still looking to pluck the staff from these teams. So Eagles have lost 2 so far. We might lose one more, and if we lose one more, we'll see what happens between now and free agency, because the Eagles do get to fill out these positions before free agency kicks in. So we don't know who we are going to bring in. If one guy they haven't mentioned in here, now I'm going to go ahead and throw it up in the air. If you guys remember, this guy coached the Dallas Cowboys. His name is Jason Garrett. Now, before you guys blow up my page about F Jason Garrett, or we don't want him on the team, let me bring you up to one point before you go there. Now, if you guys remember, Kellen Moore coached under Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett had ran the same style of offense for the longest. He ran the football a lot. Think about it now. He had Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott has not been the same since Jason Garrett was fired as head coach. Kellen Moore was at Dallas, the offensive coordinator. He did his best to run the ball there, but the Eagles the Cowboys have had quite a diminish of talent at the running back position. Ezekiel Elliott at the time, talent and style was dwindling down. He wasn't the same running back he was one way, because he kept delivering blows and absorbing blows. So Kellen Moore was a victim there. So when all that started to happen, they fired Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is still the he's one of the Cowboys' all-time winning coach. The guy has over 80-some wins and 30 or 40-some losses. He has a winning record. He really does. And so that's why I'm throwing him up. It's because for the simple fact that Jason Garrett could be who the Eagles bring in as the offensive coordinator, because they want to keep that same style of offense that Kellen Moore ran. And what better guy to do it than him? Or the Eagles could have promoted Doug Neumeyer and made him the offensive coordinator when he left. They could have did that. You know what I'm saying? But they chose not to. That's why Neumeyer is now gone. So you got to bring, if the Eagles choose to run that same style of offense, why not go with Jason Garrett? Because Jason Garrett does run the football. He does pass when he needs to, and then he got a talented offensive line Got a better running back in Saquon Barkley. And then you got Shipley. Then you got 2 wide receivers and AJ and Smitty. Then you got a couple tight ends. So the talent is there with the Philadelphia Eagles. The question is who they're gonna bring in at who they want to bring in to modify that talent. And what guy you could think of than Jason Garrett? The Eagles could be looking at him. You never know. He's one of them Xfactor hirings that could come in and take over what Jason Garrett, what Kellen Moore has done. See, when Kellen Moore came, he slowed down everything. He ran the football. He passed when he needed to. The same could be done for Hurts and Saquon. Run the ball, pass when you need to. That's why I'm bringing him up, because he's a good X-Factor hire. The Eagles could hire as the new offensive coordinator, and they could promote Kevin Patullo as just the assistant head coach. They give him that one title, and they bring in another passing game coordinator to take over his duties as a passing game coordinator. So, I mean, it's a smart way of doing things as far as hires. So, all these guys that I just mentioned to you guys on this list right here, on this list is possible hires and interviews. But Jason Garrett is one guy that has not been mentioned. And he was recently on ESPN. He was on ESPN as an analyst, but for the last couple of years he hasn't been there. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But he's been out of the limelight for quite some time, and he could be the ex-hire. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So, but don't be too surprised. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll eat crow for saying this. But don't be too surprised if the Eagles do bring in Jason Garrett interview Jason Garrett for the abandoned abandoned offensive coordinator position. Don't be too surprised. So I'm giving you guys something to think about before you go rambling over on my page, talking about we don't want him. We don't like Dallas. Another Dallas assistant. Or coach. Just think about it for a minute. Just think before you comment on this page, because what I'm saying to you could actually happen. And I'm just letting you guys know before we go any further with this. So please consider all these coaching hires that I mentioned to you and the X factor in Jason Garrett, because he could be the Eagles. He could become interview for the Eagles assistant head coaching position. Assistant offensive coordinator position. And he is probably looking forward to getting back to the NFL. And why not be with the Philadelphia Eagles to carry on what Kellen Moore has started? Because they run that same style of offense. They both do. And that's one of the reasons why he has a winning record, because he ran the football when he was at Dallas. He passed when he was at Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So think about that before you guys come on this video and this channel and rant based on what I just said, because it could go down. And I am the Almighty Green Titan, bringing you all of the possible hires, possible assistant coaches that could be interviewed for the assistant coordinator position and quarterback coach position. Keep that in mind. And don't forget, Jason Garrett was also a quarterback coach before being promoted to offensive coordinator and the coach of the Cowboys. Keep that in mind before. Because remember, this is a guy who knows Dallas as well. Again, keep that in mind. And I am the Almighty Green Talons, bringing you some update of the possible hires, offensive coordinator, and offensive lines and quarterback coach. Keep that in mind, gentlemen, because we definitely gonna be needing some new coaches to take over based on what we hit. And then you think about it, Jason Garrett might not want to leave. He might want to remain in Philadelphia, and that even weaken the Dallas Cowboys that much more. Shh. An Xfactor interview. Peace.